Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zaki, Sean, and Ryan are talking about movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to MovieFilm. This is episode 25, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zaki Hassan, and here to celebrate our quarter-century milestone. Quarter-century, more like a quarter episode. It's a quarter of something. Milestone. I have Brian Hall with me.
Hey, happy to be here. 25 episodes. Huh.
That's exciting.
That is
and
exciting.
Sean Coyle.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's podcast time.
Ah, nice.
Is that the Thundercats theme song?
That's Cool Runnings, brother.
That's Cool Runnings, brah.
Wow, dude. I've
Good
seen
job,
Cool
Ryan.
Runnings exactly once. I saw it at the Dollar Theater in 1993.
You should really watch it again. I'm
I
not
should.
joking. You should watch it again.
I remember enjoying it greatly. First time I
Dougie
saw it.
Doug.
Yep, Dougie Doug. and John Candy.
Dougie Doug. And Malik Yoba.
And the late, great John Candy.
Yeah.
Great. That was one of his last performances, I believe. Right?
John Candy of Camp Candy fame.
That's right.
Remember that?
that was from the era, by the way, where every celebrity had a cartoon show.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you remember that, because I just earlier this afternoon I showed my wife Little Rosie on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember that, the Roseanne cartoon?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was that. There was Pro Stars. You remember Pro Stars?
Yeah.
Macaulay
It's Macaulay
Culkin.
Culkin.
Helping
Yep.
kids.
Wish
there was
Kid?
Wish Kid.
Yeah.
Life with Louie.
Life with Louie. Louis Anderson had a show.
Yep.
He had a
Louis Anderson
cartoon.
had a show.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis had a show. Rick Moranis at Horror High.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
And there was also Kid and Play, New Kids on the Block.
I remember Kid and Play, yeah.
Hammerman.
Oh, yeah, Hammerman.
Yeah.
Hammerman. The Hammerman, by the way, the opening title sequence was actually 21 minutes long.
Really?
That set up the premise of the show because it was so elaborate and ridiculous. It's this long narration. It's like, and his name is Stanley, and he found these shoes, and now it's this long. And then by the time that starts, it's like, now the show, and then it's the end credits. That was every week of Hammerman. So, good times. I miss those days. I miss it.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, by the way, there was this is true, there was a Muhammad Ali cartoon show.
There was a 70s?
There was a 70s. You were born in it, in fact, Sean.
I don't
You
remember.
and I were. Yes.
Yes,
Not
that's-
me.
Was not.
No.
Brian was not.
One of these things is not like the other. Brian.
So what's going on, guys? What's new? What's happening? What's exciting?
What's the haps?
Oh.
What
Well,
it is?
I was
Yes,
going to
Brian.
talk about a little off topic with movies, but this game I've been playing on PlayStation called The Last of Us, and it's very cinematic. And this is one of those things where I've been so busy, I haven't been playing games in a while, but I just been seeing review after review of how excellent this game is. So I was like, you know what? Now I'm in between jobs, I got some time. Like let's check this out. And I have to say, this game is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, anyone who has a PlayStation 3 and is into, games, I don't see how anyone could not enjoy this game because what's so interesting about it. Well, the premise is this: there's an outbreak sort of scenario, and we're with this main character, and then we flash 20 years in the future when they're living sort of Walking Dead style, living in the decay, and this guy is assigned to transport this girl for reasons unknown to from point A to point B, and it's their adventures, and it's just really interesting. I was telling my girlfriend about it, and she was like not believing me, but there's actually moments in this game where you get so connected with these characters that you actually get emotional. Like it'll have these little moments between the two of them, and I'll be like, "Aw." But at the same time, I mean, I actually jumped a couple times from scares in the game, and there was one time I was playing. It was like 2 a.m. and I actually screamed out loud because something surprised me. So it's really, really good.
And it's called One of Us.
It's called The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. So this is another zombie apocalypse game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it's interesting because I mean there is. What I like about it is it's not just blasting zombies whenever you see them. There's a lot of sort of like tactical play involved, where if you alert one zombie, then all of them are going to attack you, and you're just not going to make it. So you have to pick up bottles and bricks and throw them across the room to divert them, and it's a lot of like scrambling and crawling around and strategery.
Strategery.
A lot of strategery involved, and so it makes it challenging but really different and fun.
Very
Brian.
Well, I don't play video games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Brian, you want a family someday, right? You want kids in the whole.
Yeah, so I got to get this out now.
Enjoy this time now. Yeah.
Get it out of your system. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Well, Sean, what about you? I know, speaking of having a family, you've got some extracurricular activities that you've been working on.
Yeah. Thanks for the lead-in, Zaki. I just finished my first children's book. It's an ABC book featuring animals. It's called Animal ABCs, and it's now currently available on iTunes and on the Kindle store for Amazon.
Nice.
So no actual print version out yet, but that I hope to accomplish later this year sometime.
Very cool.
But
That's awesome.
yeah,
Very cool.
Just teaching kids the alphabet through animals and fun phonics and whatnot.
Yeah,
So-
that's
and
what I
it's-
liked about it. Is it wasn't just A is for anteater. I mean, there's wordplay involved, and you use a lot of alliteration, and you have like a couple sentences about the animal that, like, I remember growing up and watching certain films and being like, what is that word? And I would learn the word because I wanted to know what it was. And I think there's some words in here that are fun, but there are some that are challenging, and then children are going to learn words.
Yeah, thanks. That's the idea. I mean, there's some words that I didn't know that I had to look up because there's a lot of alliteration with the different letters of the alphabet and stuff. And the challenge was trying to find, like the words that like 10 words that begin with Z that you can all cram into the same sentence, like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you have to look up a lot of that stuff, which is fun because I learned a lot of.
I like that you programmed it to send out electric shocks whenever kids read along the wrong way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I forgot to mention.
I think we need to hold our kids to higher standards.
That's how they learn. So
That's exactly right. That's how they learn. So I appreciate that. I'm working on my own first children's book. It's called Harold and the Heroin Dealer. Just trying to keep it real, my own experiences.
exactly. Write what you know.
That's right. Growing up in the streets of Carroll Stream, my hard Scrabble younger years. Those are good.
Speaking of the streets, I got to share a story about Brian. I don't have much to contribute.
A Brian story.
I didn't see any of the movies that are going to be talked about, so I don't have much to contribute. But Brian was nice enough to visit me for lunch a few times these past couple of weeks. And so where I work is a very sort of artsy, eclectic part of town, and there is a California Art Institute campus there. So there's always students from the school and just young people, as we call them now. They're always out there with petitions, and it's usually...
Oh no!
The more popular agendas lately have been like gay rights and gay marriage and anti-bullying campaigns and things like that. So Brian and I are walking out of Panera, and and I'm the same way. Like I see the people with the clipboards coming, and like I will plan if I see them coming. I will cross the streets at different intersections just so I don't have to talk. Like if I drive to Target and I see there's people outside selling stuff, it'd be like, well, I guess I'm not going to Target today. And I turn around and I'll go. So
the baby doesn't need milk.
So Brian and I are walking out, and this guy comes up and extends his hand for a handshake, and before he could even like get a word out, Brian's just like, nope, and walks right past him.
It wasn't exactly like that, but it was funnier because of what he said to me.
So what the guy actually said, which Brian didn't know until after the fact, the guy walks up and he's like, friendship?
And I said, no thanks.
And Brian's just like, no thanks.
I just saw a clipboard, and he's like, ha, and I was like, no thank you, no thanks. And he's like, friendship? I'm like, no thanks.
The weird thing, that's exactly how Brian and I first met back in 99. Same story. The weirder thing is Brian was my server at the time at the Houlihan's, so it was just incredibly awkward.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if anybody saw that
He didn't
moment.
serve me
Just
like food.
bystanders. They must have thought Brian was such a dick.
I would have never known what that guy said, by the way. Sean had to tell me afterward. Because then he said, and then the guy said, he goes, oh, but I buy good birthday presents. And I was like, what? I had no clue what he was talking about.
That is you guys have the weirdest LA stories. I don't think that kind of thing would even happen up here in the Bay Area.
Well, I'll say this. Like, I appreciate what those people are doing. It's not easy.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
you're getting rejected all day. I get it, and that sucks.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even want to pretend like I'm gonna waste their time. And I really mean that. Like, I'm just like, no, thank you. And I'll just try to be polite and keep walking. But in this instance, it was I should have listened a little closer.
I picture Brian like Robert Stack in Airplane.
yeah, exactly.
It's like the Hare Krishna as they're coming. He's
throwing people over my
drop
shoulder.
kicking them. Oh man, that's very. This is like Brian stories now. This is like the tangent, but this reminds me of back in 2003. Brian and I we were on Sunset Boulevard. Do you remember this, Brian? We were in at Sunset Boulevard. We were walking into a Slurp to get a Slurpee.
Oh yeah.
Which is a drink, by the way. That's not code for stuff that people give you on Sunset Boulevard. We were walking into 7-Eleven, and it was like I was walking in first, and Brian was right behind me, and some guy's like, "Hey, can you spare some change?" or something like that, and I was like, "Oh, talk to him," and I just point to Brian behind me as
Hey, man.
in. And then so I go in, I get my Slurpee, and like Brian basically engages this kind of conversation, I think. And then I see Brian like 2 minutes later, he's just like, "I hate you so much right now." That was as angry as I ever saw.
Old Brian. Old Brian
Yeah, exactly.
would tolerate people.
Oh, I was such a nice guy. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
The world kicked me in the balls too many times.
Cut to new Brian. Friendship? No thanks.
No, thanks. Nope, out. Oh my goodness. So as we do each and every week, we try to start things off with listener letters, and we have a follow-on listener letter this week from last time. And this now to catch people up, last time I read a very nice review that a listener left for us on iTunes. Doug O'Laughlin very nicely, very kindly wrote us a letter on wrote us a review.
Hi, Doug.
And I read that, and so Brian was very gracious. Sean, meanwhile, proceeded to kick him in the balls for the entirety of his review.
What? No, I didn't.
I'm not sure why, but Sean was burning
I just
down
wanted
his
him to
house.
agree with everything we're saying.
Sean insulted his family, which I thought was a little excessive.
It's true. It's true.
Sean questioned his manhood, which just seemed mean to me.
That was just out of line.
My manhood or his manhood?
Well, his, but you kind of questioned your own in the process.
Yeah. I mean, go on.
Yeah. Anyway. But we had asked Doug to let us know what he thought of Man of Steel, and amazingly enough, he actually chimed in. This is the loyalty of our listeners.
I'm actually really genuinely happy that he did that. Let's hear it.
All right, so here we go. He says, "Oh, geez, I just finished the podcast. I'm on the spot." So thank you for that, Sean. Man of Steel was awesome. I agreed with you guys on all points. I've told you, Zaki, that we adopted my son, so the Costner stuff really touched me too. Huh. I love the scene they showed in the trailer when he said, "You are my son."
Yeah.
Lots of little things touched me and made it real, like seeing Pete Ross years later at IHOP. I also love the action style, avoiding, quote, bullet time or whatever, and doing what someone called a Battlestar Galactica / documentary style view of much of the flying action. Good stuff. I kind of hope they don't go to Justice League right away. What about a Superman, Batman, Luthor matchup and incorporating a battle over kryptonite like the comics did in the 80s?
Never going to happen. Go on. Great idea, though.
It is a good idea. I doubt it would happen. But
More Doug. Yeah.
And then he posted one more follow-up on that where he says, "Great show, guys. I'm halfway through." Oh, actually, so this came earlier. Sorry. I'm reading Facebook, and it's screwed up.
Facebook's backwards.
Yeah, he says, "Sorry about my iTunes comment that I disagree a lot." See, now you made him feel bad, Sean. Not sure where that came from, but I did. This is like, seriously, I feel bad that he's having to apologize.
Well, what happened, Zaki? He agreed with our review on Man of Steel.
Which is great, but there's, of course, no need to apologize.
Exactly. He says, "But I did 100% love Star Trek Into Darkness, and I think it was that week." So that, but really, you guys did 100% love Star Trek Into Darkness. It was only me being
not 100%.
Not 100%, but yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. So thank you for that,
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah,
and we also related to that. Kim Saint Aubin left a comment where she said, "Love the podcast, and of course, loved Superman."
Hey, Kim.
So lots
Hello.
of love for Man of Steel. So
Hello,
although
Kim.
not as much as we'd think, and I want to circle back to this later on in the show because the box office has been somewhat roller coastery when it comes to what's been going on with Man of Steel, and I think that's
Doing pretty well. Isn't it like 240 million or something like that?
Well, it's doing very well, but it's also dropping very well, which is what I find kind of interesting, and I want to unpack that a little bit with you guys a little later on in the show. But as we also do each week, we talk up some new releases. Now, we'll go into yes. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
We'll talk about World War Z, which is now in its second weekend. We'll talk about that more later on in the show so that we can get into some spoilers. But I wanted to briefly discuss some other new releases that I saw with you guys. First up is White House Down, the new Roland Emmerich presidential Die Hard type movie. That's the second in 4 months.
Yeah, which I found I have not seen. Both movies we're going to discuss here I haven't seen but want to see. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on them. But I read a review about White House Down, and they pointed out that Channing Tatum's character's name is John Cale.
Yeah.
Which is just 2 letters away from John McClane.
Right.
I was like, oh, good observation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's Paul Shirey wrote a column shortly after Olympus Has Fallen came out where he was like, why do we have 2 movies about terrorists taking over the White House and none of them is a Die Hard movie?
Yeah.
Which is really true because especially this one was like, oh my gosh, it's such a blatant Die Hard clone.
Yeah.
Even more so than Olympus Has Fallen. But that being said, now first of all, it opened in 4th place, which is a pretty big disappointment because its opening weekend is about $25 million, and against a $150 million budget, that's not necessarily great. It's not terrible because $25 million is still $25 million, but it's obviously problematic, and I don't think the road ahead is going to get any easier for it.
Yeah, but it's stuffed.
The
right
summer
now.
is, you mean?
Everything that's in front of it. It's not like it well, I guess it lost to World War Z, so to speak. But I mean, and Monsters University because it's in its second week. But I mean,
And
that
Olympus
obviously
Has
is good.
Fallen.
And
What?
the Heat.
And Olympus Has Fallen.
The Heat, yeah. Well, yeah. It didn't open as well as Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah, because Olympus opened over 30
But
million.
nothing came out that weekend, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing came out against Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Here's somebody asked
It's all
me this.
about timing.
It is all about timing. That's right. I actually enjoyed White House Down, and so in a weird way, I'm going to defend the movie not because I think it's particularly good because it's not. But somebody was like, "Oh, which one did you like better, Olympus Has Fallen or White House Down?" And I said, "Well, to be perfectly honest, I enjoyed White House Down more because Olympus Has Fallen is just as stupid." But I felt like White House Down has an awareness of how stupid it is.
Right.
And it has some fun with its stupidness, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, from Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
You know, like smash bang of a higher level, of a higher order, but just dumb, but fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what he does. So I'm hoping for that.
I mean, first of all, I'm going to say it, and this is what I tweeted right when I saw it. I was like, if the measure of a star is how watchable they can make a very mediocre movie, then this is Channing Tatum's moment because he's great in the movie. He's a blast. He's fun to watch. I mean, he's charismatic. The guy's a star. And like I said, there's moments that I was laughing hysterically through the majority of it, and there were times where I was the only one laughing because I think only some of those laughs were intentional on the filmmaker's part. But this is a perfect example, and maybe this is just my sense of humor, right? There's a part in the movie where the terrorists take over the White House. Now, in my opinion, the terrorists take over the White House a little too easily, both in this one and in the previous one.
Sure.
Because I feel like a lot of bad guys are going to watch these movies and be like, hey,
That's not so hard.
it's not that hard. And it's like, well, this is probably the most secure facility on Earth other than the Vatican, so... But so the terrorists take over, and this is kind of a spoiler, so I won't say. But it's Jason Clarke is like the leader of the bad guys, and then he's working with this other guy, who I won't say because it's kind of a twist. And basically, the President Dude, as Brian referred to in an earlier episode, he's gotten away. He's gotten away. So Jason Clarke, who you guys know, he's the guy from Zero Dark 30,
Oh yeah,
Mr. Intense. He's got the intense eyes and just he's.
It looks
always
like a buff
angry
Conan
looking.
O'Brien when he was.
What's
when he
that?
had to be- He looks like a buff Conan O'Brien when Conan had the beard.
He does kind of look. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right. So him and this other guy are like, oh, we got, Jason Clarke said, we got to get him. What are we going to do? And the other guy's like, hey, take it easy. We'll get him. Here, you want some cake? Because there's like cake sitting around because it was like a celebration party. And Jason Clarke's like, no, I don't want cake. I'm diabetic. And I'm not kidding. I busted out laughing, and I was laughing for like 3 minutes straight. Because it's just so ridiculous. And I, in all honesty, I love any movie that can throw a line like that in there because it's just
for sure.
so out of place.
You think the writer, once he wrote that line, was just like, save and we're done for the day?
Oh yeah, I think he high-fived himself. He went up to the mirror and just gave himself a high five. Because that's gold right there. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to defend it. It's like don't pay the $10 for it, but it's.
Yeah. Well, how's the action?
It's well staged.
Yeah.
I would say there's some cool sequences in there, but in all honesty, it is the same movie as Olympus Has Fallen. I mean, there's just not. This is like the Mars Attacks version of Olympus Has Fallen, if that's Independence Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or actually, my friend Jeff Connell made a better analogy. He said that if Olympus Has Fallen is Dante's Peak, then this is Volcano. I mean, neither of those is a good movie, but like you kind of end up watching Volcano when it's on, just because it's like weirdly watchable. Not because it's good, but just because it exists.
All right. Yeah.
So not necessarily a recommendation, but it is what it is. I also got to see The Lone Ranger last week.
Ooh.
And now this movie, I think we were all questioning how it would be, and I think it was on everybody's list of like, probably not going to do so well. I had an absolute blast with this movie.
I'm really happy. I saw your post about that, and I'm really happy to hear that because the trailer before, what did I see? Maybe Man of Steel or something with my brother. They had ArcLight. I think it might have only been at ArcLight, but they did like a little behind the scenes featurette that they showed us.
Okay.
It was like a trailer / behind the scenes
About the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, and we were both like, maybe we'll see it. And after that featurette, we were both on board. I don't know what it did, but it just showed that it made it look sort of like a Rock'em Sock'em action picture western.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. And not bloated and silly and whatever, but just a fun.
Yeah, it's not the Wild Wild West. It's not Wild Wild West.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear that.
It's not Jonah Hex. Yeah, it's we were all kind of like, oh god, here we go, Johnny Depp with his face painted again. I think he's created a fun new character who's not annoying. Like I find Jack Sparrow ridiculously annoying.
Yeah.
I didn't sense that here. I think Armie Hammer. I mean, geez, I think this is going to really launch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean he's been kind of like floating around the edges a little bit. I don't think he's really had a signature role. I think this could very well be that.
Yeah.
And I mean Gore Verbinski, he knows his way around a shot. I mean it's a very well composed movie. It's really nice to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That being said, the one thing I will say, it is too long because it's 2.5 hours.
Oh my god.
Well, that seems to be the trend these days, huh? I mean, every movie is over 2 hours now.
Yeah, and in all honesty, they could have trimmed even 15, 20 minutes out of it, and it probably would have been just fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm guessing Gore Verbinski gets final edit.
Sure. Which is interesting too, though, because remember they almost can't, or I don't know what you call it. Put it in a.
Yeah, they almost canceled the whole movie, right?
Yeah, they were going to cancel it because budget reasons, and then they ended up taking out, from what I understand, stripping a whole bunch of things from it. So it's interesting that after all that, it's still 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, well, my understanding is that the early drafts of the script involved like werewolves, and it was very heavily science
supernatural
fiction
or something.
fantasy, supernatural, and this is not that.
Yeah, that's good. I don't want that.
Yeah, it's the analogy I would make. It's very very similar tonally to the two Zorro movies with Antonio Banderas.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's written by the same guys because Terry Rossio and Ted Elliott wrote those movies. They also wrote the Pirates movies. So it's in fact it's so similar that it's like exact plot points are lifted from the first and second Zorro.
Does Anthony Hopkins play
Anthony
the first
Hopkins
Lone
is
Ranger?
the original Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
He's actually the original Tonto. That's he's like this old man with the stuffed crow on his head. Yeah.
Who does the music for that? Is it Hans Zimmer?
Yeah, it's Hans Zimmer. So it's just a lot of.
So it's not like a Man of Steel score. It's just sort of.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think other than a few tracks, Man of Steel has the same problem as all of Hans Zimmer's stuff, where it's just very formless. It's that like I don't see myself downloading the score. There was no theme that stuck. Actually, that's not true.
Right.
That's not true. I will say this: there is the theme that we associate with the Lone Ranger, which is the William Tell Overture. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
The Lone Ranger, dun, 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 dun. And it's interesting because after I saw it, that was somebody tweeted me or they asked me on Facebook, like, "Oh, does it have the William Tell Overture?" And I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, of course it does. How could you not have the William Tell Overture in the Lone Ranger movie?" And I was thinking, this takes me back to Man of Steel. I'm like, you know what? Why can't we just make the John Williams music the Superman music? You know what I mean? Because that's what it got me thinking. Like, this is a reboot. It's a whole new take. But you know what? You have the Lone Ranger music.
Right.
Because it's the Lone Ranger music. So that's what it got me. It got me thinking about that. Like, I feel like Man of Steel would have improved a little bit musically had they found it. And even do like a reorchestration or do a new version of it. But have it in there, you know?
Yeah. Do you think
But
with the when you're talking about the William Tell Overture being in there, do you think if this movie had come out in the early 2000s, it would have been remixed by Limp Bizkit? Like they would like.
Why you gotta hate me?
Why you want to hate me?
Yeah, you know, that's actually kind of the. It's funny that you say that because that's one thing that I noticed is that they didn't reorchestrate it or do like a remix of it. It's the classic version of the William Tell Overture. They didn't change it at all. And I actually do wonder how that'll play with modern audiences, like because to some extent we're familiar with that almost as a joke more than as the Lone Ranger music.
Yeah, it sounds. I think the tempo and everything of it just would probably be very different than everything else in that movie.
So I'm curious, like when you guys see it, when it does kick in, if it takes you out of the movie, I'd be very curious what you think about that.
Yeah, I want to say this. I was going to bring it up later, but just because we're talking about scores, Hans Zimmer, and everything. In the beginning of World War Z, which of course we'll get into later, but there's part of the score, some things are happening, and then the music, of course, goes brah, brah, and I was like, you know what? Inception, I think, might be the most influential score of the past, of this,
of the 2010s.
2000s. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna, and there's no signs of stopping. I mean, it's shameless too. I mean, that's just happening in almost every film. It's interesting, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. That's really, I thought that when I was watching, I was like, wow, that score had a massive impact.
It just is. We're experiencing it whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Other new releases, and this one just opened this past weekend, is The Heat, which is directed by Paul Feig. It's his follow-up to Bridesmaids, the very successful comedy from 2011. This one stars Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, and it's looking like in a $40 million opening, and that's against a $43 million budget, so this one is already a huge success. They're already talking about a sequel, etc. I had a chance to see it, and not just that, I also had a chance to chat with its director, Paul Feig. It's true. It's true.
Really?
This is part of a panel interview, so it was myself and two other online journalists. We had a chance to sit in a room and just chit-chat with Paul Feig, who, of course, in addition to being known as a director, is also the creator of Freaks and Geeks, which was a very underseen show in 2000, which came and went, but it helped launch the careers of Seth Rogen, who we talked to last time, Jason Segel, Linda Cardellini, James Franco, etc. He was also a regular on Sabrina the Teenage Witch as her professor. So he's been around for a while, and
we're going to edit that part out of the show, by the way.
The Sabrina the Teenage Witch part. I would assume he's very proud of that credit.
Just kidding.
Let's go ahead and play the audio from my conversation with Paul Feig.
Well, given all your television experience that you've done, both as an actor and also filming some great television series, how has that informed your work as a director, a feature film director?
TV is such a great proving ground. I went to USC Film School, so I had film school, but I always credit kind of TV as the ultimate film school because, you're working in a world where you are on a very tight schedule, and also a lot of times you're not getting the script until very late in the process. So I used to be very prep heavy. I would storyboard and work all this stuff out, and TV actually freed me from that and made me a better comedy director because I show up and I'm ready to be in the moment. Because what happens is when you get to the set and you start doing a scene, or you start even rehearsing or whatever, and you go like, oh, there's these funny things, you have to be able to adapt very quickly. And from television, I was able to do that, and so I feel like it just helps me capture the energy of a funny performance better by not being so planned out.
So I always say like a little bit of chemistry goes a really long way, and in this film, McCarthy and Bullock have fantastic chemistry. Yeah. I'm just wondering, how did you decide on those two? How did the two of them come together? Was it always the two of them?
It was just a happy accident. Weirdly, I got sent the script and was told that Sandra was interested in being in it, but then there was nobody mentioned for the other role. And so I started reading it, and about 10 pages in, suddenly I had this epiphany of like, this is Melissa. And she and I had been trying to figure out something to do together since Bridesmaids. And after that moment, to me, it was just like, there's nobody else that can play this role. This has to be the two of them. And fortunately, we were able to kind of nail them down. And because of that, I'd never done a movie before where I didn't audition people together. But since they're two big movie stars, you're like, okay, we're just so happy to get them. And when I was going to the first rehearsal, I remember thinking, like, what if they don't have any chemistry? I've had that happen before. You go like, clearly they're going to be great together. And you get two people together, it's like, oh, they're terrible. But they just hit it off like a house on fire the very first time they met. They bonded over being mothers of young kids. And then from there, just their comedies sensibilities meshed, and yet were different enough. They were both kind of enjoyed each other and was kind of in awe of what each other did.
Do you, as a comedy director, how beholden do you feel to the words on the page, and how much leeway are you willing to just let scene play out? Because somebody like Melissa McCarthy, at some point you probably just want to let her go and just do her
thing. I'm very beholden to the script, in that we really work those scripts hard because that's your template, that is your blueprint. But then once I get to the sets, I'm not even that hardcore about like we have to get this word for word, because I want people to start to make it their own immediately. That's when it's funny, and I feel like just actors sort of reciting lines, there's an energy that you lose for comedy, and so we kind of we definitely stick to what we have, but then we really just start loosening it up very quickly, and then that will slowly evolve, because on the set I'm coming with ideas in the moment. I'm kind of calling them in. The actresses are having their moments. Katie Dippold, who wrote this script, she was with me the entire time. We bring in other writers to sit with us, and what they do is they all have Post-it pads, and they write in jokes, and they put them on my script, they put them on my arms and everything. So I'm just sitting there getting these jokes, because I like to create lightning in a bottle, really is what it is. And then we cross shoot, so we're kind of shooting both the actresses at the same time. So if they surprise the other one with something the first time, we have it. And then we just kind of go, and from there it just kind of sometimes it degenerates into just total anarchy, and most of the time it's pretty controlled though, because again, if it gets too far afield, then you can't use it. But at the same time, I never want to stop something that I think won't fit in, because sometimes we'll just figure out how to use it, and it'll be great.
Well, sort of following up on that, I almost assume, since there's that all the improvisation you've done, how many scenes did you have to cut out, or did you have sort of a preset running time for it? Because I think comedy really depends sometimes. When you see a movie that runs over 2 hours, you feel like there's a lot of padding.
I very much don't like movies to run over 2 hours. I actually still to this day feel like Bridesmaids was a little long, because we were like 2 hours and 5 minutes long on that. But so my target is always like about 145, and this movie's like 150. If something's working, I won't cut it out. As long as I've sat through movies that are 70 minutes long that feel like they're 5 hours long, and I've sat through 3 hour movies that feel like they go by like that. So it's really, that just needs to dictate it, but that's why we do so much test screening during all of post. I start 2 to 3 weeks into my director's cut doing recruited, 500 people kind of screenings, because then it allows me I'll get it to a point where I go, I think this works, we're trying out stuff we like, but I'm not in love with everything, so that if people don't react to something, it's very easy for me to go like, okay, throw that out, lose that. Because if you do your full director's cut at 10 weeks, and then by the time you show it to an audience, you're just like, you're in love with everything, and you're just tense, like, they don't laugh, like, well, they don't get it, and it's like, you got to be brutal. We don't even settle for chuckles. We record the audience, and something go like, "Did they get a laugh?" You listen and go like, a few people laugh, and you're like, you know what? It's not strong enough. Let's try to top that. We always want big laughs from the audience, and so by the time after 10 test screenings over the course of several months, you end up with something that you go like, this works. We know may have varying levels of working with different crowds, but we know that it always works. The majority of the people are going to laugh. So it's a big commercial comedy. So there's a lot of money at stake for the studio, and so you really have to be scientific amidst the art of comedy.
A small extension of that. Do you cut your own trailers, or did you cut the trailer for this film? I ask because I noticed there, and this sort of goes with that improv, there are some scenes in the film that differ from those that show up in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't.
Commercials.
Yeah, I don't cut I don't cut the actual commercials. What I do is I feed them really from the very beginning of the process. We all, they're getting the dailies even when we're shooting, but then I always set up a thing between the editing room and with the marketing department to go like, here's a bunch of funny stuff we found. Here's some funny combos. I have no problem with putting stuff in the trailers and the TV shows that aren't in the movie, because I know whatever we put in the movie is going to be funnier than those jokes. But we have all these extra funny things, and I hate when I go to the movies and I feel like I've seen all the comedy already. You know what I mean? And so that's, for us, it's fun just to go like, look, this is going to be funny. Here's a bunch of funny things, and when you go to the movie, then it's this great surprise. Of like, oh, hooray! I didn't expect that. Even that scene in the trailer where they break the glass,
right, that's
and
what
she
I'm thinking.
faints.
Yeah, right.
And that's great for that, but it didn't, in the context of the movie, it didn't feel right. Like I didn't believe that Melissa's character would faint, and it's so funny when she starts laughing. But that's an extra thing. You go like, oh, I know it's coming. Oh, that's different, and that's funny.
Yeah, I think that's what we all noticed.
Circling back around to Bridesmaids, obviously that was a huge success in a way that I think a lot of people were surprised. Were you surprised by it?
I was surprised by the level of success it hit. I mean, you never make something thinking it's not going to do well, but at the same time, I was kind of in my head. I was like, if we could get to $100 million, I would be thrilled, because then it would be kind of considered having done well. It'll show the town that women can attract an audience. And then when it went past that, it was kind of like, oh, but it was great. I mean, I was so happy.
Did that put pressure on you for your follow-up?
It put pressure. I put pressure on myself for that, because you don't want to backslide if you can avoid it. And I like making the bigger commercial comedies. I've seen a few directors I know have that big success, and then they immediately parlay that into their small personal film, which from an industry point of view is kind of like not that exciting, because then they go like, well, you only got one in them. And I'll be honest, I mean, I've made indie films before, and while I love it, I really love making something that a lot of people are going to see, and the fact that you make a studio film, you get a marketing machine behind you, you're going to get out there. I suffered with little indie films. We're just trying to get people to care about them, and we all work too hard to not have our stuff seen, and so I love it. But when I couldn't figure out what to do next, and it took me a while. So when this script came in, it seemed like the perfect next step from Bridesmaids, because it's still strong women, but it's not that same story, and it's even more of a bridge between men and women, because it's creeping into the male genre, but it's with these two women. So my hope is always to just make people not care if it's men or women in a movie. They just go like, that looks funny, and guys show up. Guys will not be afraid of a movie with two women on a poster.
Yeah, I couldn't help but think of Jerry Lewis's statement recently about female comedians.
What is Jerry doing? I know exactly. He's out of his mind. And I love Jerry Lewis. He's one of my heroes. And it's like, Jerry, just stop. Don't be so antiquated.
Not to be tired. No, I mean, sometimes when it comes out, it's like such a different generation.
Yeah.
But even then, there were still some female comics.
Well, I mean, that's what I don't get. I mean, some of my favorite female comedy actresses. I mean, if you look at Bringing Up Baby and His Girl Friday, all those old screwball comedies, the women are hilarious in those movies. So I don't quite know where this is coming from.
Yeah, they're one of the anchors in the film, really.
Yeah. No, it's it's such an antiquated. I mean, you kind of can't believe that we're still kind of having the conversation sometimes. You know, when Bridesmaids was coming out, it was just all about, can women be funny? It's like, seriously? Is that the question?
With this cast, you're going to ask that question?
Yeah, I know. Like, aren't these the funniest women you've ever seen? So, you know, and I've known funny women my whole life and grew up around them and knew, you know, women who were funny actresses, and then professionally I've met a bunch, and so, you know, or worked with a ton. So it's never, I'm always perplexed by by people's perplexion at that.
Well, it's sort of as a corollary of the idea that women can carry film and especially comedy, that you always needed a male anchor as well.
Yeah.
And that seemed, I remember a couple years ago, there was, I forget what studio it was, one of the senior executives was very vocal about he wasn't going to greenlight any movies that starred a woman. And I'm like, wow.
Totally. I ran up against that for years and years. I mean, there's things I wanted to develop. I did a Christmas movie called Unaccompanied Minors, based on this American life story about a pair of sisters, and one sister gets lost. And when the script was sent to me, it was with a boy and his little sister. I was like, well, can we make this like it wasn't a thing and have two girls? It was like, no, you can't. They were so kind of like, you can't do that. That you almost go like, oh, I guess you can't. And then it was just, with Bridesmaids, you kind of go like, wait, why? I've been hearing for years you just can't have women in this stuff. I go, why? Who says? Women are half the population of the planet. I think they will show up to a movie with themselves in it. And so it's nice to slowly be proving that wrong, but it's still, you know, there's still not that many movies starring women. We're the only, us and Aubrey Plaza and the To-Do List are kind of the only, you know, and those are smaller movies. We're the only like big studio film that's got all these women in it, and it's embarrassing.
Circling back around to television, Freaks and Geeks, it's been 13 years. It came and went, but it's now thought of as one of the greatest comedies of all time. Do you feel vindication from that?
Yeah, you definitely do. I know when the rug is pulled out from you so unceremoniously. I mean, we kind of knew we were going to get canceled, but at the same time, even though ratings-wise we were not good, so I can never get too mad at them about it. Still, the critical acclaim we had at the time, today I think would have floated us. You know, since the business is so different now with all shows out on DVD and streaming. You know, now they're seeing, like, if you have a show that you know is good but it doesn't have an audience, keep it going because people will eventually binge watch it and then it'll pick up. So I think if we had the business model around that we do now, I bet we would have survived. But being the show that 13 years later people are still commenting on, and it's crazy. It's such a wonderful feeling.
And it was so talent rich too. There were so many people involved. You're like, wow, they've all gone on.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know.
You're
People always
kind of
ask
the
about
godfather of modern comedy.
That's right. I would like to think that. No, it's funny. When people occasionally go, "Is it be a reunion?" It's like I can't afford that.
We're at time.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you guys.
much.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
was just really surprised when he was talking about how much he relied on CGI.
Yeah.
For
Sandra
for
Bullock
Bridesmaids.
actually
It's
is
like,
not
wow.
in this movie. She's
Yeah.
entirely CGI.
Yeah, all mocap. It's pretty interesting.
It was Sandra Bullock in a mocap suit, and then they just created a Sandra Bullock. She didn't feel like showing up on set. So.
Oh, it was seamless.
Yes. What were you saying, Sean?
I was going to say you snipped the cables of the other panel interviewers. You snipped the cable of their microphones.
I actually snipped the cables of their brakes.
Oh,
They're now dead.
So next
mixed those
time.
up, mixed
Next
those up
time.
a little bit, but
Next time it won't be a panel.
Where's everybody else, Zaki?
It'll
Like,
be a
I don't
panel
know.
of
Let's
one.
begin.
But yeah, so the Heat is playing right now, and it's off to a successful start. So I know you guys have not seen it yet, but I'm assuming I'll get to talk to you about it next time.
It's one I plan on checking out. I think.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
for
talk
sure.
about that. We'll talk about that one next time.
Woo.
Okay,
what
let's
else didn't
talk.
we see?
Seriously. All right, let's talk up some headlines, and we got some big ones. First of all, and this is somewhat ironic, given that Pixar has had a huge amount of success with last week's release of Monsters University, which is the prequel to Monsters Inc., and that was their second biggest opening of all time, and it's still very successful in its second weekend. But Pixar is now saying they're going to cut down on the amount of sequels that they're planning on making. They're going to cut down and do only a sequel every other year.
Well, a sequel every other year, but also an original film every year. So, does that mean then every other year we'll get 2 Pixar films. That just seems like a lot of output. Then again, I mean, I imagine their family is growing and they're able to support more projects like that. It just seemed like they were, boutique for a very long time, and if they put out a film, it took this film, we've been working on this for 4 years.
Right.
And so you're like, oh, wow, and you felt it. It felt like a film that had been worked on for 4 years. And so it just makes me wonder. I mean, I can only assume they have more people on their team now, but just hearing that there's going to be a movie coming out every year, you just hope that the quality will stay intact.
I mean, when you think about it, it used to be that there was Pixar and then there was Disney Animation.
Right.
Yeah.
And now Pixar is by default Disney Animation.
Sure.
They've assimilated a lot of those people too. A lot of the feature people.
The Disney people. Pixar has assimilated the Disney people?
Yeah.
So,
like a lot of those Disney feature people, like what Brian's saying, the family's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
So I mean, Sean, I mean, you spent a lot of time at Disney. Is the perception in the halls there that Pixar is sort of the top of the mountain when it comes to Disney animation?
Yeah, I mean, there was always like the friendly competition between the two, but now just because John Lasseter is sort of the head of all animation, Pixar was his baby, so like that's like it's going to be, when you think of a Disney, whenever Disney releases a movie, we're going to get to the point where it's going to be pretty much Pixar only.
Right. So then is Pixar going to be doing Mickey Mouse, and why haven't we seen that happen?
I'm not sure. It's interesting. You said the story is about them not doing any sequels or as many sequels.
As many. They're cutting
because that was sort of their plan when Pixar came back to Disney.
Was to do sequels.
No, it was to not do sequels. Like Lasseter walked in and he was like, "No more of this Lion King 2.5 crap or 1.5 or whatever it was." But yet, what are they doing for their direct-to-DVD videos? They're doing like 10 million Tinkerbell Fairies movies and planes and trains and cars and whatever. Like all they're doing are sequels.
10 million Dalmatians, actually. That's the next one. Well, the Disney straight-to-video sequels, I don't even understand. Like, it's so tacky.
They make a crap load of money.
Do they really?
They make a crap load of money, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it, because parents are dumb, but I mean, well, no, I mean, seriously, they're such a qualitative step down. I mean, the Lion King 2.5.
Oh yeah.
Is not even fit to wipe the ass of the Lion King movie.
It's like a weird power Disney has over the audience and their employees to a certain extent. Like there were a lot of people when I worked there who it didn't matter what position they held. The fact that they were working for Disney, it was like, no, I've made it. This is it. I'm working for Disney. I can just relax, do my job. I have accomplished everything I want to accomplish in life because I'm here at Disney. Yeah. Which is just it's just kind of a weird thing to me.
And I mean, that is an accomplishment, though.
No, for sure. But I'm talking about, and no disrespect to anybody's job, but it's like these aren't just people who are like directing movies per se. It's like, oh, I'm such and such's, assistant or secretary or whatever, but I'm here at Disney. I'm an accountant for Disney. It's a weird, and not everybody's.
Well,
like
it's a legacy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with like the audience, there's like I keep saying weird. I don't mean any offense, but there is this power that like, oh no, it's a Disney movie. It's got Disney on the label. I don't care if it's direct to DVD. Like I must have it.
Well, I think that's what's interesting about it is, again, it's a legacy.
Culture.
I mean, it's a culture, it's a legacy, and it's has a lot of value. But what's interesting is the evolution that's happening right now, where you're saying a Disney film will really be a Pixar film.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, that's a huge shift.
Well, and it's it plays to, I think, the perception of quality that Pixar has.
Sure.
Right, because it's granted, a lot of parents don't know the difference between a crappy straight-to-video sequel and the original, whatever. But there's a perception that Pixar equals quality.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though I saw Brave recently, just a couple days ago, and I was pretty underwhelmed by that.
Well, I'm trying to think. That That one, I actually haven't seen all of that, but it just seems like, recently with Cars 2, people didn't seem as impressed. And so, like I was saying, like it seemed like, I don't remember if a Pixar film was coming out every year, always, but it feels like it now, but it feels like they're still better than average films, but at the same time, it seems like that. I mean, when you saw WALL-E, you're like, what did I just see? Like, that should be nominated for Best Picture. You know, it's like, they're in Up even. You're like, I'm crying, and it's like 5 minutes into this movie. You know what I mean? Like, it just had this caliber, and it just feels like the more and more they put out, it goes down slightly. So that's just my thing. Like I think that has to do with them. Like I was saying, I mean, putting years and blood, sweat, and tears into these things and making sure that they're perfect. And that's not realistic, though. I mean, if you're a company, you have to grow and you have to keep putting things out. I just hope that they do have the manpower to focus all the required attention to each of these pictures that are coming out each year.
And I just want to be clear, like, don't quote me as saying that it's going to be Pixar only within a few years, but it feels like that's sort of the framework that they've set up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I look at it and I'm like, why not? Like, why not just call everything a Pixar movie?
Yeah.
Because, like, I look at Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph was fantastic. Wreck-It Ralph was so good it may as well have been.
Might as well have been a Pixar movie.
Guys. So,
right.
So if it's all, and if it's John Lasseter, if it's the same guy at the top of the food chain,
right?
Supervising everything, like, why not just make it one big unit, one big family?
Walt Disney Presents.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think the trick really is even if they're not putting blood, sweat, and tears into it, just put blood, sweat, and tears on the soundtrack. And that'll make up for it. A little of this, a little of that, All right, other news, and this picks up on some of the stuff we've been talking about recently. Jurassic Park 4 has been rescheduled. Now, it was, of course, scheduled for 2014, which is a year from now, and then logic kicked in at some point, and they were like, wait a minute, we need to make a lot of CG dinosaurs in a hurry. I don't think this...
In less than a year.
In less than a year. I don't think it's going to work. And so now it's been rescheduled for summer of 2015. I don't know if we have an exact date for that, but one would assume it's...
I think this is based on a banner that was at
a
the
licensing
expo. Yeah.
Now, of course, Jurassic Park 4 is not the only film that is being slotted in for summer of 2015. I think we should just rename summer of 2015 Nerdgasm.
Yeah.
Because every nerd-centric movie that could possibly be thought of has been slotted into those 3 months. And my feeling is the ultimate irony would be if the world ended in, like, February of this year. And it's really just God being a jerk about it,
As the world's ending, all the nerds at the same time are like, no.
Yeah, God is a jock. It turns out.
It's million nerds were cried out and were suddenly silenced.
That's right. It's a galactic wedgie. Now, I don't have a list handy. Brian, do you by chance know? Some of...
I do.
Oh, okay.
No, what made me aware of this was reading about Terminator 5, which is happening now, and it's going to be the start of a brand new trilogy. That's the plan.
Of course, everything's a trilogy.
Yeah, well,
yes.
Natch. So they're saying that's going to come out summer 2015. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, everything is coming out summer 2015. So I went and looked. This isn't comprehensive here, but summer 2015, we're getting the Fantastic Four reboot. We're getting Assassin's Creed, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Independence Day 2, Avengers 2, which is going to be colossal, Justice League, which is going to be really interesting, coming out against Avengers, Jurassic Park 4, Terminator 5, Star Wars 7.
Oh, yeah. That little indie movie.
Yeah, and then later in the year, I don't think these are summer, but we're supposed to also get Avatar 2 and Mission Impossible 5.
Wow.
I mean, what? That's a lot of stuff.
We were talking about how this summer is stacked.
Yeah, and it was, but not with everything we want to see. This is a lot of interesting stuff.
Well, and I mean, just when you look at May, you've got Avengers at the front of May and Star Wars at the end of May. So Disney is going to be done. Like, they're going to make their quota for the year in May.
Yeah. Next 5 years.
Oh my goodness!
Right.
Buy in now, Disney stock. Jeez.
I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So do we have now? No, okay, actually, so lots of stuff to pick apart. We'll talk about Independence Day in just a second. Now, the Terminator. We talked about this last time. We got to talk about this again. What? Why? I don't even. So, one of my students saw the headline, and she's like, "Dude, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, I don't. That was actually. I typed that on Facebook. Which is my Schwarzenegger impression also. Brian, what do you think about this?
Oh, it evolves. I mean, last week I wasn't very excited. I can't say I'm excited now, but I can't help but be cautiously optimistic.
No, shut up.
I really no, because I love the iconography of these movies. Like I do. I love these. I love this universe, and I so badly want to go back there and have a good time again. So yeah,
but this
like
is supposed to stand alone, right? This is like a separate story.
Except it's gonna star Arnold Schwarzenegger,
which is weird. I don't understand that.
So it's a separate story in the same universe, is what they're saying.
Well, that doesn't make sense either, because the first 4 films.
They're
I mean,
connected.
I mean, could you call the first 3 films a trilogy? Not really. I mean, they're not. So I mean, saying that it's going to be a trilogy, there must be some huge overarching story.
The first. This is actually, when you think about it, the first 4 Terminators, all 4 of them stand apart from each other.
Yeah.
They're not a quadrilogy or whatever. Like this is all the stuff, because each movie ends.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they find a way to make a new sequel. This right away, it's like, oh, we got to make a trilogy. Everything's a trilogy. Everything has to be a trilogy. And it's just going to be called Terminator.
Right.
That's the other thing. I have so many thoughts on that. I don't know, Sean. What do you think?
I will say when this story, when the story broke and there was that first rumor about, it's going to have The Rock and Arnold Schwarzenegger and it's going to take place in the 50s. I was like, yeah, all right.
What? The 50s?
Yes,
I didn't read that.
Yeah. It's going to be about them.
It's never going to happen. Because it's going to be about Sarah Connor's grandparents or her parents.
Sarah Connor's grandparents is what they were saying.
Really?
Yeah.
That's okay.
But I'm just like, I was imagining The
Stupid,
Rock
right?
and Schwarzenegger just like flipping cars in the 50s and stuff. That's what I want to see.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well then do that in a movie not called Terminator.
I want to see a greaser like flip a switchblade, like beat it, punk, and then then break his hand, throw him in a car or something.
It's starting to come together.
I want to see a movie called
See,
The
how can you not be
Austrian and
excited
the
about that?
Samoan.
What'd you say?
I want it to be called The Austrian and the Samoan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're in the 50s for
That
some
sounds like
reason.
a sequel to The Life of Pi or something.
Yeah.
The
I was just going to say, if
Austrian
you name it The Austrian and the Samoan, it gets nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even though it's about killer robots.
Now Paramount is very confident in this movie. Here's my question to you guys: is this the guaranteed box office payday that I'm assuming that they seem to think?
I don't think so, because I don't think the last 2 films have done what they thought they would do. I think these movies do well, but they don't. Well,
the last one did not do well. I mean, the third one they ended up making money on. The last one did not do well.
I don't know where it ended up. I mean, it does. I assume all these movies are going to make their money back. Right. I would assume. You'll have to look up for it, but they're never going to be Iron Man or they're not going to do numbers like that. They can't.
I think the smartest way to go is just a total reboot. Separate yourself as much as you can.
Really?
I think because you're not gonna be able to do anything that's going to please the fans that of the first 4 movies or the first 3 or the first 2 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just start over. Just make it about time traveling robots. That's cool.
Yeah.
And
don't call it Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to
call it time traveling robots.
Oh. Okay.
That's what I said. Here, the time traveling robots. That's like the Japanese ripoff version.
Oh, what are those? Yeah, Transmorphers.
Yeah,
Whenever,
exactly.
like a large film comes out. I saw Pacific Rim. I saw Atlantic Rim.
Atlantic Rim, which is
Yeah,
by
so
the way,
there's like a
also
company that capitalized on that stuff.
That's also an adult film.
Yes.
It's the sequel to Pacific Rim, the adult film. So, exciting.
looking forward to hearing
in addition to Terminator 2, there's also Independence Day 2. Independence Due, I believe it'll be called.
Independence Harder. Yeah.
Also an adult film. Now this one, we had this. Oh man, I mentioned our 2 viewers were now down to 0. So we scared them off in like 10 seconds.
We need to stop bringing that up.
Yeah, I really. This is like it's an ego bruise. But regardless, Independence Day 2 has been slotted in, as you said, Brian, for summer of 2015. One assumes it's been slotted in for July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
Which would make some sense. However, one thing we do know with absolute assuredness is that Will Smith
will be
not.
in it.
No,
what?
he will not.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, that's one thing we know for certain. I know nothing. Yeah.
They were saying we won't make it without Will Smith, and then they're like,
Until Will Smith was like, no. Oh, all right.
Yeah. I guess
we got the date.
We're making it without Will Smith. Yeah. Now a couple things here. First of all, Will Smith just starred in like the biggest flop of his career.
Yeah.
After Earth, which is terrible. Why wouldn't he do Independence Day 2?
You know what, though? His career has been a very safe journey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I've read this, and I can't remember if this is something he actually copped up to, but he studied what makes hit movies, and those are the films that he chose. I mean, he really plotted out his success. So, in some ways, depending on what you want out of your career, you can respect that. So, it would seem that, yeah, why wouldn't he do this after having such a huge flop? But, maybe it's just he's got another idea. And he's like, this is a safe thing. This is what people expect me to do, but I'm going to do this. Who knows?
My theory is that Lord Xenu guided him in another direction.
Oh, God. Change the subject.
What, are we going to get sued by the Scientologists?
Now we are.
Bring it on!
Said Zaki Hassan.
So, okay, second question about Independence Day 2. Are you guys interested in it?
Yeah, why not?
I'm open to the idea.
Yeah.
You're
I'd like to see I'd like to see Bill Pullman and Jeff Goldblum back, at least.
They are.
They are back. And
Oh, okay.
but here's the thing. It's set 20 years later, so it's like we're following Bill Pullman, retired president.
Wow. 20 years later.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. That's like if Jimmy Carter is like the lead of the movie now, you know? You know what I mean? Well, not Jimmy Carter. I guess George Bush Sr., you know?
I want to see him go, today we celebrate our independence. Again.
Independence order.
I feel like they are, I said this before, I feel like they are wildly overestimating the audience for another Independence Day.
Without Will Smith, yes.
Yes. Yeah, especially without Will Smith. Absolutely.
I mean, put Will Smith in it, I think you're going to get the results you expect.
But again, I mean, why would he not do it? It's this.
Maybe he will. Maybe they'll throw a crap ton of money at him, and he'll be like, okay.
He'll be like, welcome to Earth again.
Steve.
That's wrong guy. Wrong guy. He is back, by the way, Jeff Goldblum. So that's exciting. They should, who they should get to come back since they can't get Will Smith, they should get little Nicky from Fresh Prince. He was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because he plays his son in that movie.
Yeah, that's right.
He'll be like 20 years old.
If Will Smith doesn't come back, there at least needs to be a scene where Jeff Goldblum calls him and he's like, Steve, you gotta help us out. No, don't hang up, Steve. No.
Yeah. We have to give the alien ship a cold. Again.
Again. They haven't updated to iOS 7.
Yeah.
Still give him a virus. By the way, we got a comment via Twitter from somebody who's watching our feed, and this is Ray. He just tweeted us. He said, Ray equals maybe wants to watch Independence Day 2. Ruth would definitely watch it. Would be nice to have a girl take over for Will Smith.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah, let's have Jada Pinkett in there.
There you go.
But playing the same character. Just to really mix things up. And actually, speaking of this, is kind of interesting. Roland Emmerich was like, "We're also going to have a gay character."
All right.
And I just thought I was like, "Why do you need to specific? Like, why is that the
Yeah.
Like, is that what you need to sell the Independence Day audience?
Wasn't there one in the first movie?
Yeah.
Harvey Firestein.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He even got a great lawyer joke in there. Remember that? The world is ending. He's like, I need to call this person, that person, my lawyer. I'm not going to call my lawyer. But It's like,
But I love it's like, we're doing Independence Day 2 and everybody's coming back and there's going to be a gay person. Like, is anybody out there
Who are
like,
you to
I can't
resist?
wait. Oh, a gay person. Can I buy my ticket now? You know? I don't understand that. So it's
he's
odd to me.
excited.
He's excited. All right, so moving on from that, we talk up some new trailers.
Trailers.
You know, Brian, you got to be consistent from week to week with how you sing the song.
I like the one from a couple weeks ago.
Trailers.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
A little more of that.
Maybe I'll record that. There we go. Next time. Probably not.
So first trailer to discuss, and this has been out for a little while now, and I've been wanting to talk about it with you guys for a little while, but we've been otherwise delayed. And this is, of course, R.I.P.D.
Men in Black
starring
4,
Ryan
right?
Reynolds.
Oh.
Right. It stars Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges as a couple of paranormal investigators / eliminators. Wait, they rid the Earth from the scum of the universe. Oh,
right.
wait. Let's play some of the trailer, and then we'll eviscerate it on the other side.
Where am I?
You're dead. But you have skills that we want. So we'd like you to join the R.I.P.D. Rest in Peace Department. Your job is catching deados, the bad souls that escape judgment. Meet your new partner.
Now, you gotta earn that. Come on. We are the greatest lawmen that ever lived and died. You don't look like you don't sound like you anymore.
So, gentlemen, I will step back while you get started. So, Sean, what do you?
Well, Brian,
Sean.
Brian already stole my genius pun. Men in Black 4.
I think it's obvious. Yeah.
It's weird. Like, I don't know. Ryan Reynolds was always somebody that I liked. I liked that TV show he was on, the pizza place thing, and he's just, I don't know. He's always an entertaining, charismatic guy, and now he just sort of feels like he doesn't know what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he hasn't found his place yet.
Yeah.
Well, Green Lantern's failure broke him.
Maybe. Like,
I don't think we'll get him back. I think he's just broken now.
and I don't think they told Jeff Bridges what this movie was about necessarily.
Dude, I saw this is
You
true.
thought it was
I
True
saw the
Grit,
trailer.
too.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer and I wanted to hug Jeff Bridges. I just wanted to I wouldn't even say anything. I just walk up to him and just give him a big hug because this is just, I mean, he's an Oscar winner, for goodness sake.
What if, I'm not saying the movie looks great, but if Men in Black didn't exist, it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
well, I'm
what's
going to
kind
stop
of
you
weird
right
about
there
it.
because there's one slight problem with that hypothetical. Men in Black does exist.
Well,
3 times.
Yeah, smarty pants.
Yeah, I'm just saying I like the idea of these dead people trying to stop other dead people, and one of them is from cowboy time, so he's a cowboy. That's a good idea. It's just it's too bad that it's not even just because you could do that concept, but the way that it's presented is exactly like Men in Black. I mean, in tone, and in seemingly in humor and stuff. So I think that's where it's not working, but it's not a horrible idea.
I think the trailer looks absolutely awful. It's just
well, you know
totally.
what? My brother cut that trailer, so.
Well, then we need to talk, Dan. It's time for an intervention. I don't know. I was just like, why? What are do you not know that Men in Black exists? Do you not know that everyone is having as one? Anyone who watches the trailer has the exact same reaction at the same time. That this is just a ripoff of that.
Whenever something like this comes out, I always think they spent money on this. We still haven't ever had a Flash movie. Like Perfect Strangers season 3 through 8 are still not available on DVD.
And I'm kind of like, people are dying in Syria, and that's where my mind goes.
The money
millions
is
and millions of
allocated
dollars.
It's just spend your money wisely, studios. That's all I'm saying.
R.I.P.D. And it's based on a comic book, actually, just like Men in Black was. So,
I wonder how much it's been tweaked.
Yeah.
To death.
Well,
turned into this.
Right.
It opens in a few weeks, so we'll know how badly it flopped shortly. One assumes.
We'll see.
Next trailer is Escape Plan, and this is the new thriller starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Let's play some of that.
I'm Warden Hobbs.
Hobbs. Where's Warden Marsh?
There is no Warden Marsh. This is the reality, and there's no way out.
Go make some friends. You're gonna need them.
Back away.
Who were you before you came in here?
I break out of prisons for a living.
You don't look that smart.
You don't either.
The people who paid for you to be here want you here forever.
Ray's gone off the grid. Where is he?
This is the Shadow World. Code name the tomb. Phrase anywhere, it's it.
Where is here?
I don't know.
This was a setup. Somebody wanted to bury me.
You have a choice. You can die in here, or you can get out and punish who put you here.
I'm gonna find out who, and I'm gonna find out why.
Okay, so this is the kind of movie that I feel like would have been a much bigger deal about 25 years ago.
You know what? I was just going to say, this is the type of movie when you're at a sleepover with your friends, and you're like, what's the movie you want to see? You're like, I want Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger to be locked in a super prison and have to break out. This is the movie of my, 12-year-old dreams.
I agree.
Well, I mean, what do you guys think of it?
Now that I'm not 12, it could be totally dumb and worthless, or it could be totally dumb and a great time.
Right.
I'm really hoping it's just a silly, great time. I don't know.
Sunday morning matinee. Right?
Yeah. Because, I saw
depressing.
Expendables. Expendables was supposed to be the movie of my 12-year-old dreams, and the first one, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. That's all right. And then Expendables 2 came out, and I didn't even see it. So,
yeah, true.
I'm sort of there. I don't know that it's going to live up to the movie in my head, but it could be fun. I don't know. I'm not. This isn't priority movie going.
I'm just it feels like the sequel to Lock Up. Have you seen Lock Up?
I didn't. Did you see Lock Up?
Have I seen it? Yes, I have seen it. Sean, what about you?
No, I didn't see it. The Guy Pearce space prison movie, right?
No. I'm thinking of the Sylvester Stallone movie from the 80s.
Oh.
Where he's thrown in prison and he has to escape.
Ah, well.
It doesn't have Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, but
yeah,
it has less Schwarzenegger and more Donald Sutherland. But
I sort of got the impression on this trailer. I sort of get the impression that Schwarzenegger's not in this movie for very, very long.
Really?
I don't know. I just get the feeling that he's sort of like a gimmick to get people interested. But I don't know. Something about the way that it was cut and the fact that you don't see him in any other scenes except for standing there in the prison surrounded by a bunch of people talking to Stallone.
Do it, break out.
Yeah. You hit like a vegetarian.
I'm here in the prison. You're in the prison. Together we're both in the prison.
If they had shown more of the two of them together kicking butt and trying to bust out, maybe they're saving it. Maybe they're saving the good footage for something special. I don't know, but it didn't. When I heard the premise about, because months ago it was a still frame of Schwarzenegger sort of leaning against a wall with his arms folded, and he's got a goatee, and then Stallone is standing next to him. I'm like, that looks badass, and it's just the two of those guys standing there, Stallone with a goatee or Schwarzenegger with a goatee. Are you kidding me? And then the visuals.
Sean's an easy lay.
Are you kidding me?
The visuals for the movie didn't
Arnold has a beard.
It didn't quite match up to what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. I was hoping for more like a buddy cop vibe.
Maybe they'll both be crawling through a tunnel of poo and pee
and boogers.
I didn't get into this mess.
It's weird, Jim Caviezel and.
You know what'd be awesome? Wait, they're in a pipe of poo. He's like, I've had it up to here with your shit, and it'd be literal.
All right, good night, everybody. That was episode 25. We're just gonna leave on a high note.
I'm sorry, Sean. Sean, I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
No, I don't.
All right, very briefly before
what did you think of this
dive
movie?
into? What do I think of the trailer? To quote Brian, who is the first person to ever use this phrase, it looks very meh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's disappointing for me because I'm a big fan of Stallone, and I'll generally watch whatever he does. But I subjected myself to Bullet to the Head a few months ago, which is ironically what I wanted to do after I saw the movie. So after that, I'm like, oh God, no more. And I just, I've said all along that Stallone is a really good actor. And just, I wish he would challenge himself a little more. And I'm not saying don't do action movies, but do action movies with a little more grit to them. You know what I mean? Like, play up the fact that you're an old guy now, and you're not the invincible action hero anymore. You know what I mean?
He could do Stop or My Grandpa Will Shoot, or Stop or My Dad Will Shoot, where he's the old guy now.
Or Stop or My Mom Would Have Shot. Oh, sorry. That's awful.
It's him and the corpse of Estelle Getty.
No, he's got a young daughter now. He's got a daughter who's a cop, and he used to be a cop.
Oh, that's much nicer than my idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian went to a dark place.
Yeah. No, okay. I see it. Yeah.
You're like, yes, I suppose.
You get Raven Simone.
No. You get
as his daughter.
You get like Emily Blunt to play his daughter, and she's like a slick,
hard-nosed
New
York
DEA agent or something like that. And her dad is like the old school cowboy movie loving cop guy, and their styles clash. And it's like, Stop or My Dad.
How many great ideas we've given studio executives in this episode so far.
We're just a fountain of elevating mediocrity. That's what we do. Which, by the way, was a rejected title of our podcast, Elevating Mediocrity. We settled on MovieFilm, but before that. Before we move ahead to the spoiler portion of the show, I wanted to touch base with you guys about the summer box office, because we are now at the end of June. We are now recording a mere 28 minutes away from the beginning of July. So we are at the halfway point of summer.
Say what?
It's true. So more importantly, we're at the halfway point of summer box office. And we, of course, made some predictions about how movies would fare in a show about 2 months ago. So I wanted to get your take on where we're at now and how films have done versus how you predicted they would do. So just to recap a little bit of where we're at, 2, of course, opened right up top, and that has surpassed $400 million at the domestic box office.
Wait, what was that?
400.
What movie? I'm sorry.
Iron Man
there was
3.
a glitch. Oh, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, sorry.
I mean, I think we all knew that was going to be one of the biggest ones of the summer.
Yeah.
That pretty much made $1 billion the instant it opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's obviously a pretty big smash.
Yeah, and it just left the top 10 this weekend.
Just this past weekend, that's right.
Yeah, and barely, too.
Right, yeah, it kind of kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
Other big releases that came out this summer were right after Iron Man 2 was The Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Which Sean pretty content would not do well.
Verdict is still out on the true take of that movie, but whatever. Look up episode 23.
The great.
My thoughts.
Just to clue people in on where it's at thus far, The Great Gatsby has made $141 million domestically.
That's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, unless you're Sean.
What did it cost to make?
That's against a $90 million budget. Or excuse me, it was 100.
Well,
so when you factor in international and domestic, it's made $320 million.
Like I said, that's the great thing about the free world, is that even the dum-dums have movies that...
I want to see The Great Gatsby.
Well, that's by the way, dum-dum, Brian.
What? Yeah. That's like the Great Gazoo on the Flintstones. Isn't that what he called them? There was a video that was going around this week that was the VFX reel for that film. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's unbelievable. You got to see it.
For Gatsby?
Yeah, it's really impressive. The stuff that they did with that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, well, part of it was they actually made DiCaprio's head look smaller.
I knew you were going to go to a head joke.
Yeah. They actually had the dots on his face, and they used the computer to actually shrink his head. That's it didn't entirely work, unfortunately. They did a journeyman's job. But,
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah. Other big release this summer was Star Trek Into Darkness, and this has been somewhat of a disappointment.
I was wrong. I thought this was going to do much bigger than it did.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be the case of people being skeptical with the first one, and then a lot of people turning out and liking it and seeing it on DVD, and everyone turning out for this one, and I was wrong.
It's done basically this one, by the way, as the first one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Just about.
It's the same exact movie. Actually, it's the same exact. The plot too is basically the same thing. Now this is done well, by the way, just to be clear, because it cost almost $200 million to make, but it's made $220 domestically and another $220, give or take, foreign. So we're looking at just under $450 million worldwide, which is the biggest Star Trek movie ever.
Right.
So this is, how we couch the term disappointment is very relative, but it's not doing better than the first one. Which is somewhat surprising. I'm not that surprised because I didn't like the movie as much as everyone else did, so it's not that surprising to me. But to me, I think it indicates, and I think we said this a few weeks ago, that there's just like a ceiling to how many people will. I think Star Trek, the name, is still going to turn off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
But other big releases this year, we have, of course, Man of
Steel.
Yeah.
Now we were just talking about this a few minutes ago. The budget on this one, $225 million, and as of now, domestically, it's at almost $250 million, and another $270 worldwide. So it's broken $520 million. So again, this is just to be very, very clear about this. This is not a flop by any stretch of the imagination. I want to couch that. That being said, have you guys noticed how much it's tumbled from week to week?
No.
I can see. Yeah. I mean, you think that? I mean, what did it make? $20 million this weekend, and it's been up for 3 weeks.
It opened with $120 million, and then it dropped to less than $50 million for the second week.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine, it would be, 60, and this weekend something like 40, and
yeah, you know what I mean. It's dropped like Ang Lee's Hulk dropped.
Yeah,
which that's not a comparison you ever want to have made.
Yeah,
that's like grounds for divorce type comparison,
I think that, I mean, that's kind of stretching to think of something negative to say. You know what I mean? Well, like, it's made a crap load of money, and I think similarly.
Well, you don't need to tell me. I mean, I love the movie.
No. I think similarly, there may even be a ceiling for the character of Superman, because it's possible in like international markets he may not appeal as much.
Yeah.
To here, but I mean, it's a huge success, and that too. It's like there's, you had a Pixar movie that came out. You had.
Right.
World War Z. Like, you had these other big movies that have come out in the past couple of weeks that, I'm not surprised that it got bumped down a few pegs.
Yeah.
Crowded marketplace.
Definitely a competition. Yeah. And actually, this does bring to a broader question. This thing cost $225 million. And, it's like, how much do you guys need to spend on a movie before you realize that you need to turn a profit at some point?
Right.
Right.
Like, it's so bizarre to me, and we've been talking about this before, where studios are more willing to bet the farm than to bet on a smaller movie that might not make as much, but it'll still turn a profit.
Right.
It's like
what horror movies are for, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. Like The Purge a few weeks ago, right? The Purge cost $3 million, and it opened to like $40 million.
Yeah.
So it was profitable, and then some immediately.
Yeah.
Well,
Another example. Go ahead, Brian.
No. Mine's a little different. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say This Is the End also. It just opened 2 days before Man of Steel. That cost $30 million. That's going to make $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's and another example is Now You See Me, Brian, your movie that you worked on.
Yeah, that's hanging around.
I mean, did anyone expect that one to make over $100 million?
In 29 days.
That's astonishing,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's to me, as a Superman fan and as somebody who's hoping to see the sequel soon. I mean, obviously they're doing the sequel right away, but I'm just like, why? If your first one costs $225 million, how much is the second one going to cost?
Yeah.
And with this cast, 90% of that budget is in the visual effects.
The effects, exactly.
There's not a giant name in that cast that would demand like a $20 million payday.
Exactly. So,
now,
to me,
by movie 3, perhaps Henry Cavill will be getting $10 million a picture or whatever. But
right, but it's not happening yet.
Yeah.
So that's an odd one. And one last summer release I wanted to mention was, of course, Fast and Furious 6. Now, Brian, you've seen that. We talked about that.
Uh-huh.
Sean, did you see that yet?
Nope.
Okay, so you are one of the few people who has not seen that, because that's made domestically $233 million. It's made foreign $450 million.
Yeah.
So it's worldwide. It's at almost $700 million.
It's a big haul.
It's amazing. Now it's the biggest Fast and Furious movie by a wide margin, and it relatively didn't cost that much, $160 million.
Yeah. And think about it. I mean, with each movie, it just seems like more and more people are getting on board with it.
Yeah.
And so for Fast and Furious 7, I mean, who
which
knows
is
what
next
that's gonna
summer,
do.
by the way. Next summer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Who knows what that one's going to do?
Yeah,
it's going to be huge.
I can see it doing very well. Yeah. All right. So that's kind of that's the halfway mark report card. Now, Sean, you had said that you had pegged Monsters University as being the big success of the summer.
We were talking domestically too.
That's right. Just to clarify. Now it's looking like Monsters Inc. is doing very well. So you are certainly. I don't know if it'll be the biggest success of the year, but it's certainly.
No, I had picked that, Iron Man 3, and Fast 6 as the top 3.
All right. Well, it seems like you're, if not in that order.
Nothing's going to beat Iron Man.
The Iron Man is I don't see anything making more than $400 million this year. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's invincible.
Okay, on that note,
the invincible Iron Man.
Yes,
that's what it is, right?
Yes.
All
That's
right.
very good.
See,
very good, Sean.
I learned a few things being your friend, Zaki.
It's true that nerd is strong in you. So this is the spoiler portion of our program where we talk up a new release and go into a little bit more detail than we normally do. And we're, of course, talking about World War Z.
World War Z.
So before we bypass the spoiler wall, very quick take. What did you think of it?
I went into this with very low expectations, and I had a good time. I don't think it's anything I'm going to think about or watch again.
Yeah.
But you could definitely do worse. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's my World War Z in a nutshell.
That's basically my reaction that I had as well. So as we and Sean, what did you think of World War Z?
Oh, you're funny.
No. I was expecting to hear you start your car and drive away.
I have not seen it. I actually don't plan to see it anytime soon, so feel free to spoil away.
All right, sounds good. And with that, we bypass the spoiler wall. That's our spoiler sound effect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm very proud of that. I came up with that on the fly. But
it was very good.
All right. So World War Z is, of course, based on the book comprised of a series of first-person testimonials told after the fact to a United Nations researcher who is recollecting what happened that led to the zombie apocalypse and how it was eventually not so much defeated, but how it was resolved to some degree. So the book is told through first-person narrative, essentially an oral history of the zombie war. So Brad Pitt read that book and was so enamored of it that he got into a bidding war with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he said, I want to take the title of this film and then make something that has nothing to do with the book at all. Which is what he did with World War Z. The book has zero connection to the film. Zero. Nothing. They took the title and that's it. And that was probably the most frustrating thing of all for me about the movie, is that I actually really do like the book. I like it a lot. I've read it a few times, which is rare for me because I'm not a fan of the reading. Which I guess is like Brad Pitt, because I can't imagine he read the book. Now, Brian, first of all, have you read the book?
I have not read the book.
You have not, but you have read the Zombie Survival Guide.
Yes.
Which is by Max Brooks, and it's
right.
the same. Sean, what were you saying?
No, I read that too.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Zombie survival guide. Yeah.
I read that at Brian's house.
Yeah.
And ever since, whenever I go anywhere, I immediately scope the place out. And I'm like, what will I do when zombies attack?
When zombies attack.
Yeah, not if, when. Like when zombies and I'm like Jason Bourne. I scope it out. I'm like, where's the exit? Where's the fire extinguisher? Where's the blunt object? You know, I got it all figured out. The film, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because the film is such a meh film, right, Brian? I mean,
this is how I felt about it.
Okay.
It's shot well, which I was a little worried with Mark Forster with Quantum of Solace. I felt like when he attempts action, to him that means cuts every second and a half, whether or not you actually can see what's happening in that second and a half.
Right.
And so I was worried this was going to be sort of like a blurry, shaky cam film, but it wasn't at all. And I thought this movie had great scope, and it had some really interesting set pieces and really cool and varied locations, and it had a lot of those things going on. Brad Pitt, his character is really more of a cipher. I mean, he doesn't really have a personality, but it's Brad Pitt, so I mean, you can latch on to him and go where he's going. But the problem is there's no, it doesn't. He just goes somewhere and learns some information, and goes somewhere else and learns some information, and avoids a zombie and goes. It felt like there was nothing for me to be like, okay, he's got to do this, and then once he grabs this, and this person died, and I'm gonna miss that guy because he contributed this. Like there wasn't anything to really latch on to in this movie. It's just from point A to point B, and then we end up at point C. And it's nice to look at, and it's fun from time to time, but there was nothing to hook me.
And that's a great point. It's first of all, Pitt's character, he's playing Brad Pitt. Like that's why we care about him, basically.
Right.
Like if he was played by anybody else, we wouldn't have as much of an investment because there's what do we know about him? He likes his kids. Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. He's like every other parent.
Yeah, and he has no characteristics.
He doesn't. Except that he's smarter than every scientist. More quick thinking than any soldier, and more handsome than everybody.
I did think that would be a funny joke if this was a comedy that he's this UN investigator, and just everywhere he shows up, if people see him, go, whoa. He just gets that reaction every place he goes. Like, okay. This is what we're dealing with. Okay.
He's literally through the whole movie, like the first big set piece, and just to be fair, there are some really spectacular set pieces. They show downtown Philadelphia getting overtaken by zombies, really gripping and scary. And of course, he's the one who figures it out right away. Where he's like, it takes 10 seconds for the zombie plague to take, because he has just enough time to watch this guy getting turned. Yeah. And he's like, 10 seconds. That's important. And it's like nobody else pays attention to that. And then like later on, he goes to, where does he go where he meets David Morse in the jail?
North Korea or South Korea? Or...
It's like an Asian country. And James Badge Dale is like one of the guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, wait a minute. Did you guys think about blah, blah, blah? And they're like, no, we didn't,
Yeah.
And then later on, it's like, he basically comes up with the cure.
Right.
Now, bear in mind, he's at and we'll talk about like the major third act surgery that they did to get, but the entire third act is completely created from a whole cloth by Sean's best friend Damon Lindelof, which I'll get to. But he's at the World Health Organization, which is their whole job is to figure out how to defeat plagues. Now, Brad Pitt is not a doctor or anything like that. He's just like a UN guy. And he's like, what you should try doing is, because the zombies are like this. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then,
like smart and staggeringly handsome.
Yes, what are the odds?
That makes me think of, do you guys remember the Poseidon Adventure remake?
I never saw that.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, where the boat is going down and then Richard Dreyfuss pops up and he's just like, guys, I'm an architect. These ships aren't built to float upside down. And everybody's looking at him like, oh my God. It's like, no shit. A boat's not meant to float upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Sorry. Go on.
You know that will allude to the Poseidon Adventure remake as a you know what it's like.
That's what it sounds like.
Wolfgang Peterson right now is there's a single tear rolling down his cheek.
You have that obvious plot point that people like us watching it were like, well, duh.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Okay, so he goes to Israel, right? And in Israel they have the wall that they've now built up, and the wall keeps the zombies out, right? So Brad Pitt lands in Israel, and he's met by this guy, and he's like, yes, in Israel everything is working. So right when Brad Pitt shows up at the wall, like, people start singing, and like the zombies hear the singing.
As people do, Sean.
Right, when a zombie apocalypse, that's when you start singing, and the zombies hear the singing, which is apocalyptic singing, and they start making to the wall. And this is the scene from the trailer where you see that big wall of zombies,
like piling on top of each other, scrambling to get almost build this zombie ladder of themselves to get over the wall.
Right.
Which I will say, in the trailer, you're like, okay, but in the context of the movie, I was like,
It's
like
very
it works
well done
in the context of the movie.
But Brian, here's the thing: there's helicopters flying all around the wall outside. Yeah. How do you not see that?
Right.
What are you guys doing?
Well, it is funny because the guy is going on about this wall.
Yeah,
like, hey, well, we got a wall, and then just like 2 minutes later.
But Brian, you know who does figure out that they're in trouble?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. He's like, hold on, guys, the singing is too loud.
Yeah, he does. That's
right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: Are they singing "Put a Little Love in Your Heart" like at the end of Scrooged?
They might have been. There weren't subtitles.
No, Sean. Here's the other thing. You know who's doing the singing? It's all the Muslim people.
Ah, yes. Stereotype.
So the way the film portrays it, the people in Israel, they got it all figured out, and then these Muslims show up and they everything up.
They started singing "Put a Little Love in Your Heart," and then
next thing you know,
and the world.
So I'm like, of course the Muslims.
Place.
What'd you think of the airplane sequence?
Okay, so the airplane sequence, they escape Israel. It's Brad Pitt and whatever the soldier woman who he's with, and they get on the plane.
I liked her, by the way.
She was good.
Speaking of Brad Pitt being Brad Pitt and having no characteristics, she wasn't given much to do either. But I felt like she left an impression.
Right.
I thought she was really good.
I agree, and she was humanized a little bit because of he has to cut her hand off after she gets bitten and stuff.
Yeah.
But so they get on the plane from Israel. Now this is interesting because the point from when he gets on the plane is when Paramount went back and just redid the whole third act.
Yeah.
So everything from when he gets on the plane to the end of the movie is completely brand new.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the alternate ending in just a second. But so he's on the plane, and then they think they're set, and it takes off. It's like Belarus Airlines. And then it turns out a zombie got on somehow. And the way the plague works in this film, by the way, is that you're bitten, and like right away you turn into a zombie, which I did not like. I do not like that. Because I think it takes away a lot of the drama, and it just makes it seem too sort of supernatural. It seems too fantastic.
Right.
Whereas I think like something like The Walking Dead or even the George Romero movies, I mean, you get bitten and then you die, and it's a lengthier process, and I think that adds more drama to it. But basically, the plane gets overtaken, and so they end up crashing the plane, and then off they go to the World Health Organization. I thought that the action sequence on the plane was very gripping, very well done. Mm-hmm. I thought the third act was just a total disaster. That's just me. I don't know. What do you think?
In what way?
I think that so essentially what happens, just to explain to people, Brad Pitt figures out that the zombies only attack you if you are healthy and you don't have an illness or a weakness.
Right. Because
which makes go ahead.
Because Brad Pitt from place to place notices that the zombies walk around certain people. And that's is
right.
Yeah.
So like one guy has a limp. And they like avoid him, which is idiotic, because are they watching him walk? No, he's standing there, right? And then they avoid like this cancer patient. So anyway, Brad Pitt, so from guy has a limp and cancer patient they avoided, he's like, well, you know what we need to do? We need to infect ourselves with a curable disease, and then they won't attack us. Which, what?
Chicken pox.
Yeah, actually, something like that. Yeah, so he has to go in to
Everybody
the
rub together.
quarantined section of this, center, and it's been locked off because there's all these zombies in there, and they're dormant, right? So Brad Pitt, the soldier, and then some other guy who works there decide they're going to go together, but they have to be
Some
very
scientist.
quiet. Yeah, some scientist, whatever. They're going to go in there and try to get to the, what would you call those? The illnesses
Right.
that are locked up in a certain part of it. But it's interesting because having played this game that I've been playing, The Last of Us, I mean, that's what this game is. You go into these buildings, and there are these zombie-type people that are sort of dormant, and you have to not alert them. You have to get around them. So it's funny because during that part, I was like, I could totally do this. Me and Ellie.
I could be Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I should be Brad Pitt.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little video gamey, and of course,
Yeah.
everybody hits something. So there's always like a clang, and there's like a guy carrying like an axe, and it's like clong, hitting something, and then someone kicks a Coke can out of nowhere. Clong, 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 clong.
Right.
But
and then what happens is that Brad Pitt, like the other two people get sort of, they lead off the horde, and Brad Pitt winds up in the
chamber or whatever,
and he injects himself with whatever the hell, and then he just like walks through the zombies, and he's like drinking a Coke or whatever, as he walks right by them, and then it ends like, and they're like, no, and that's how we figured out how to defeat them. We infected ourselves with a disease.
Whoa, really?
And I'm like, what are you talking? Like,
Wait.
To me, that's, yeah.
No, and then he also adds, but it's not over. It's far from over. ... So there's gonna be, they could set up a sequel.
I'm like that. I mean, I'm as a lay person, I'm like, that seems like a horribly bad idea. Because the diseases adapt to our, you know what I mean? You can't just be like, oh, we're gonna, here, everybody, this is, inoculate yourself with this. Don't worry, we have a cure for it. It's like, yes, diseases adapt to cures.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think it was horrible, actually. I thought it was, I mean, within the context of the movie, and just, okay, he's got to get this thing, and then that's like a quick cure. I mean, when you really think about it and break it down, of course, there's a million holes in it. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, infect everybody with the smallpox or something?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't, it falls apart. But at the same time, within the context of the film, I was like, okay. I went with it. It was fine, and in him sneaking through there, and then him being able to walk out. I mean, yeah, I could see people rolling their eyes at it, but it didn't bother me.
Now, Brian, what do you think of the alternate ending that they scuttled and replaced with this?
As soon as I got home, I went and looked it up because I wanted to know.
Okay, can you synopsize that a little bit?
I'll try my best. Basically, what happens is they get Brad Pitt and the Israeli soldier get on the plane, and instead of the plane crashing, the plane lands successfully in Russia. And I guess there's sort of a time elapse where Brad Pitt becomes this zombie killer, and he starts leading these soldiers, and they live underground, and it's what they do. They're almost like garbage men. Like, it's their job. They just kill all these zombies and then move on and live their day to day. And then the way that they realize they can stop the zombies in this version is that when it becomes winter in Russia, it's so cold that he notices I guess they freeze. I mean, is that?
That's right.
Yeah, basically.
That's actually right out of the book. That's from the book. Yeah.
Okay, so but what's also weird is throughout the film, in the theatrical version, he's constantly checking in with his wife, and at the end he checks in with her again, and he's going to reunite with her because she's in this zone that's zombie free. But in this original version, she's basically given herself over to some guy. I mean, she lives in a community where you live for trade, and she basically trades her body, and becomes this guy's consensual boyfriend, even though she doesn't really want to, so she has a place to live, which is really bleak.
And so that her kids are safe, so the kids are safe. Yeah,
and so I guess it ends with Brad Pitt is going to go try to get her back, and that's
and Brian, just to piggyback on that, in the early part of the film, when they're rescued from Philadelphia, the soldier that rescues them is played by Matthew Fox in the film. And so it, like, the payoff of having Matthew Fox is that at the very end it turns out that the soldier who she's like in a relationship with is Matthew Fox.
Right.
And he's basically, he gets on the satellite phone and he's like, yeah, she's with me now.
Yeah,
So,
time to move on. Yeah.
Tough.
In the alternate.
Yeah,
movie.
like sorry, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
What's that, Sean?
That was in the alternate version. You're saying, right?
Yes.
That's
in
so
the alternate
stupid,
version.
though.
I mean,
like,
Matthew Fox is in this.
You're saying, like, I'm trying to imagine, like, if that was, you know, my family or whatever. It's like you don't have any other skill to offer this civilization. Like, you can't dig holes or help build houses or something like that.
I know.
I have nothing to offer except my body.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Well, so there you go. Maybe it was a good idea that they spent all that money and changed it.
Yeah, well, no, I will say it absolutely was a good idea.
But now it
because
sounds
the
like
film is doing very well.
now it sounds like the ending is like Burn After Reading, where it just like you're so invested in these characters and then it just ends. Remember Burn After Reading, the Coen Brothers movie?
Yeah, well, it's not exactly
I
like
actually haven't
that.
seen that.
They just cut to the
That's
guy
also
and it's
Brad Pitt, right?
That's how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they leave it open, I actually didn't feel like it was that bad. Because the whole thing is he does get reunited with his family. He kind of figures
So
out
there's,
a
like,
cure. But then
closure.
again, I mean, there's closure
Okay.
enough for film number one, but they let you know, hey, I mean, there's a whole world of infected people still. The battle is not over.
So Brian, now the film, as we said, we were expecting it to flop. I think everybody was expecting it to flop.
Yeah.
It's actually done very well. It's made more than $100 million already.
Yeah.
And it's looking like it's going to end up being profitable.
Yeah. And
So
they've already
they've-
talked about moving forward with a sequel.
Yeah, sequels, because of course everything has to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, based on your reaction to this film, which you said yourself was like, it was fine.
Uh-huh.
And I would agree with that. I saw it. I didn't mind it, but I left it in the theater.
Yeah.
Do you feel any compulsion to revisit this universe, this world, 2 or 3 years from now?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if this is one of those movies where if your friends want to go, you're like, oh yeah, I saw the first one, okay. But this
Yeah.
isn't one that's going to be marked on my calendar, no.
Now, had they had the other ending, would that have given more impetus to want to see part 2?
It's hard to say because, yeah, I don't, it's so bleak and sort of weird and unfinished business, I mean. So yeah, would I be dying to see what happens next? I don't know. I guess I can't know, but at the same time, I doubt it.
Okay. So either way, you're not interested in the sequel.
No, but it's not like, oh, you couldn't pay me. It's not like that. It's just no interest.
No, I agree with that. I was engaged for the most part throughout the movie. I just wasn't as engaged as I hoped I would be. And I think part of it is, and Brian, you tell me if you felt this, but I felt like this should have been rated R. I think it would have. The zombies should not be less graphic than what we see on basic cable.
Oh my goodness, I go in and out of Walking Dead.
Mhm.
I don't keep up with it super well, but sometimes I'll watch it, and I cannot believe what they show.
Oh yeah,
on basic cable. It's
yeah.
I mean, it's incredibly graphic and gory and gruesome, and it's funny because basically all the action in this movie happens 1 foot below frame.
Right.
Because you can't show that stuff. I mean, there's a part where Brad Pitt gets a crowbar stuck in a zombie's face,
Right.
and another one's coming, and he needs his instrument, but it's stuck. But you can't see any of it, so you kind of have to be like, oh, what? I guess he's wrestling to get it out, like it's stuck. Like you don't know because
It's
you
all
can't.
implied.
You can't. It's all implied, and I am assuming because I've seen so many zombie things that must be what's happening. So yeah, I mean, it probably would have helped the film artistically, but at the same time, I mean, it's doing so well. I have no doubt because it's PG-13.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know.
that's the
the observation I made is that people who are, this has been my experience anyway, that people who are fans of the genre or fans of the book are coming away disappointed. But
Right.
for people whom this is kind of like their first, like, this is like the zombie movie for people who don't like zombie movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's playing really well with that audience, it seems like.
Yeah.
So that's where World War Z is, and I would expect we'll be talking about the sequel before too long. So
Probably in 2015.
Yeah, we'll just throw that in there. Exactly. Why not? So that's World War Z. Any final thoughts on that movie, Brian, before we move on?
No, I think if people go, I don't doubt they're probably going to have a good time, but I don't think it's anything that's going to stick with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. We're on the same page with that.
Yeah.
And now we leave spoiler zone and we move into quiz zone, where Sean, I believe you have prepared a movie film quiz for us.
I have.
All right.
And here's the setup here. Zaki, with the exception of I believe it was episode 20 when we had Paul Shirey as our guest. Zaki, it's been a while since anybody's beaten Zaki at the trivia game.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
And this being our 25th episode, this is also our 20th trivia game.
Wow.
And the last person to beat Zaki was Brian Hall.
Oh, snap.
Wow.
But it's been a while.
Yes.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
If we have any viewers, Brian.
Whenever somebody says that, I have to do that.
It's been a while. All right, what's the theme of this quiz?
What's the theme? Yeah, I love Brian. By the way, folks, Brian is wearing his hood now. He's like Rocky
a Jedi
before the
cloak.
fight.
Yeah. He's got a Sith Lord thing going on.
That's
I know.
true.
The air conditioning's blowing right on my face. That's why.
All right,
this quiz, since it's a landmark event, this is very much a potpourri. There's going to be a little bit of everything.
All right.
Okay.
So it's not one theme. It's just a movie film quiz.
All right. Let's do it.
Fair enough.
If you guys are ready.
Ready.
Oh,
we are.
avatars.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure we've done this before, but let's pick favorite 80s cartoon.
Inspector Gadget.
DuckTales.
Okay. Two equally excellent and different shows.
Here we go.
All right. Question number 1.
Mm-hmm.
What was the feature-length directorial debut for director David O. Russell?
Inspector Gadget.
Go ahead.
Flirting with Disaster.
That is incorrect.
What?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I know what it is.
What was the feature-length directorial debut of director David O.
DuckTales.
Russell?
DuckTales.
Yes.
Spanking the Monkey.
That is correct.
Oh, this is not good. This is not good.
See, I had this whole thing because I thought you guys were going to take longer to try to figure it out, and I was going to give you a clue, and the clue was going to be something that we do every day. Anyway. All right. Question number 2.
Very nice. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Zaki? I don't want any griping about technical issues.
Yeah.
When Brian beats your face in.
Aw.
I don't know. All right. Question number 2.
Mm-hmm.
What movie is the following quote from? And there's 2 people talking in this scene, so here it is. I want to meet your parents and pet your dog. My parents are dead, Topper. My dog ate them.
Inspector Gadget. Oh boy, that was tough.
Go ahead,
Hot Shots.
DuckTales.
Hot Shots.
That is incorrect.
Oh, it's Hot Shots 2. Damn it.
Hot Shots Part 2.
That is correct, Brian.
I was referring to the franchise, not the film.
1-1. All right. Question number 3. Who was not featured in the film Meteor Man? Yes. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Who was not featured? Don Cheadle, Tom Tiny Lister, Bill Cosby, or David Alan Grier?
DuckTales.
Go ahead.
Don Cheadle.
Incorrect.
Wow. Who was the first one? Oh,
Don
that was Don
Cheadle.
Cheadle. And then what was the second one?
Tiny Lister, Bill Cosby, David Alan Grier.
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
David Alan Grier.
That's correct.
Yes, because he was in Blank Man.
He was in
That's
Blank
right.
Man. I just realized that. Yeah. Damn it. This one's going to.
It's 2-1. It's 2-1. All right. This one I'm gonna be impressed. Whoever gets this one.
Okay.
Question number 4. The tagline for this 1991 comedy was "Right suburb, wrong planet."
Ooh.
Wait, what year was it?
91.
DuckTales.
Yeah.
Suburban Commando.
That's right. Oh my
Damn
god.
it! I knew that. I gotta be more bold. All right.
Wow.
I actually knew that. Huh.
The
That's
action.
sad.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the comedy debut of Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that Shelley Duvall used to be considered
An
desirable?
actress.
An
She was never
actress.
desirable.
Ouch.
Wasn't
Shelley
she?
Duvall?
Wasn't she ever considered?
No.
I don't know. She was never a sex symbol.
From The Shining?
Yeah,
What? She was olive oil.
I know who she was, but I'm
If
just
you
like
play olive oil, you're
there was
never
a time where she was in like every movie ever, and I'm just thinking, well, she had to be doing something right. Anyway,
All right. Hey,
Question
we're tied. We're tied.
2 to
This is
2.
exciting.
Here,
2 to 2.
here it
This is
comes.
exciting.
Ready?
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
In every Back to the Future film, Marty gets knocked out, and in each film, this is the first word he says when he wakes up.
DuckTales.
Yes,
Mom?
that's correct.
Nice.
Well done, Zaki.
Is it Mom? Is that you? Is that how I say that?
He said first word, Brian. First word.
saying.
One word. That means singular.
You guys want the extra credit questions just for fun? The one,
Yeah.
just
Yes.
one extra credit question. The growling. Okay, in Return of the Jedi,
Yes.
the growling sounds from the Rancor monster in Jabba's palace were actually recordings of what small breed of dog?
Spectre Gadget Chihuahua.
No. Take a stab at it, Zaki.
Delta Burke.
Close. It was a
Terrible.
dachshund.
I'm sorry, Delta Burke. I don't know where that came from.
A
Came from a
dachshund.
dark
Dachshund.
place.
The Rancor monster is a dachshund.
Oh, that's kind of
Little wiener dog.
Huh.
And did you know that the word Ewok is never spoken in the film?
I did know that. I said that in a nostalgia theater, I believe, that I did a few weeks ago about the
Well, there you
Ewoks
go.
franchise.
Nice.
Ah.
Yes.
Well,
Well, very good. That was very good.
that was an
Nice.
epic battle
It was
right
a good
there.
quiz, and congratulations, Zaki.
Good job, guys.
Hey! Yeah, your Sith Lord hood didn't help you this time, did it? Sweet. Yeah. Very cool. All right, well, that wraps up another quiz, and with the wrap-up of a quiz, that means the wrap-up of another episode of the Movie Film Podcast. Brian, where can people find you online?
At everythingbrian.blogspot.com, Brian with an I.
And Sean?
moosehub.com, and you can find us all at mrboyproductions.com, and check us out at facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and check out moviefilmpodcast.com. And one last plug for my book. It's called Animal ABCs. It's available on iTunes and Amazon Kindle store. Animal ABCs by Sean Coyle. You'll notice the cover. It's kind of pinkish colored, and it's got 4 cartoon animal drawings on it. So
All right.
go buy it for your
Nice.
kids. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Very cool. And, of course, be sure to email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com, as well as Sean said, on our Facebook page at facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. You can reach me at zakiscorner.com, that's ZAKIS Corner, and also at the Huffington Post, where my movie reviews go up with some regularity every week, depending on how we do. Be sure to tune in for our next episode in 2 weeks, where we will feature my interview with filmmakers Jim Rash and Nat Faxon about their film The Way, Way Back, which we'll talk about, and we'll also talk about The Lone Ranger and other new releases as they're out. Thanks again for listening. This is the Movie Film Podcast. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Welcome, friends.